Hey guys, what's going on? So today we're going to be discussing a topic that's a little sensitive and there's a lot of controversy behind it. And you guys probably already know what it is. You guys have probably seen it everywhere, all over Twitter and Instagram and all these anime news articles. And it has to do with My Hero Academia and the certain naming of a character. And we're just going to dive into that today. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it and just give you a little bit of light on the situation for those of you who don't know, because you don't want to be spoiled by this series. But I really don't classify this as a spoiler. I classify this as something that needs to be talked about and addressed, and that people who watch the anime need to know about, because this only didn't affect the manga. This affects the anime, this affects the games, this affects a lot of stuff. So we're gonna get right into that. So all this controversy is caused over the naming of a character, and the character's name, before we figured out his real name, was Dr. Ujiko. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And then we found out in the latest chapter of My Hero Academia that the doctor's name is actually Shiga Maruta. So at first, us over in America and us Western watchers are like, okay, you know what, we figured out his real name. What does that have to do with anything? Okay, it's his real name, it's a piece of information, maybe it'll be used later on down the series. But then there's actually some really dark and twisted history behind the name, and a lot of people, especially in China and in Korea, were upset by this. And to give you a little bit of context, I'm not going to go into too much detail because it really is like a sensitive and like just really messed up topic. So the name Maruta was used by the Imperial Japanese Army Unit 713 as a code word for human experimentation. And right when you hear human experimentation, it is exactly what it sounds like. And I'm not gonna mention too much, but I really think you guys should go like read an article about it, just the meaning of the name, just so you can understand the severity of the situation and the controversy that it's causing. Because when you hear human experimentation, it's exactly what you think it is. It's a war crime. It's something that's very brutal. It's something that's very, very disgusting. And that's why there's so much uproar about the naming of this character. And one reason why there's correlation to it is because the character in My Hero Academia actually does perform human experimentation, like with the nomus and all that stuff. That's what his job is. So right there you have a character that performs human experimentation, and you name him Maruta, which had to do with human experimentation against Chinese and Korean people. And I see a lot of people who are upset, and I see a lot of people who are like, okay, it's just a name. It means this in Japanese, and it means this. And one thing you have to understand, yes, it might mean one thing in a different language, and it might mean something else in a different language, but if a word has history behind it, especially when you have a writer like Horikoshi, he knows exactly what he's doing when it comes to play on words and names. Like, look at all of the names that he's put into that series. All of those names have meanings, and deep meanings at that. He's just like Oda when it comes to names. If a character is given a name, you might want to look into that name, because that name has a really heavy meaning. So Horikoshi actually put out a response to all the controversy and everything that's going on. So I'll read that for you guys right now. Many have pointed out the character named Shiga Maruta in this week's Jump chapter has brought up recollections of acts done in the past. I did not intend for that name to be associated as such. I take this matter very seriously, and I will change the name. So that's how it reads. That's what he tweeted out after hearing the whole controversy. And a lot of people are saying, well, we need an apology. We need an apology for this. We want you to take the name out. And he said he's going to take the name out. So that's one thing. But does that make it right? Was his apology just a PR move just so he doesn't get much backlash? I see a lot of people saying that. And so many people are tweeting at him hateful things. And so many people are bringing up events that happened with Japan that were catastrophic and stuff like that. Yes, this incident does need to be called out because it's kind of insensitive to certain people, but I don't think you should take it to the next level by bringing up stuff that happened to Japan. Yes, people are upset because Japan has never formally apologized for the war crimes that were committed against Korea and China's citizens, but I don't think you should be attacking Horikoshi like this. And I understand it's Horikoshi. Like I said before, he knows what he does. He knows these names. And one thing, people just don't want him to be like, okay, I'm gonna cover this up because of PR. And one thing that has happened from this whole thing taking place is people are burning the My Hero Academia manga, they're trashing it, they're getting rid of it, and one of the biggest things that affects a lot of people is My Hero is now banned in China. So I was reading and they said there's no more video games, you can't stream it, you can't go buy it. I don't know to that extent that you can't go buy it, but I know you can't stream it, you can't watch it, you can't read it. Games are taking down the mobile apps, and you just can't play or watch or read My Hero Academia in China now. And a lot of people are upset about this. You see some people are like, okay, well, he said he'll change it, he apologized, we're okay with that, we just want to watch My Hero. And I think this is going to like escalate to a different level, because right now it's just the bottom phase. He did his apology, he's getting all these negative tweets, there's so much backlash that's coming from this, but is it going to go a step further? Is it going to go even further where these anime companies are like, okay, there's a little too much backlash coming from this. I don't know if it's good for us to be associated with this right now. Is Horikoshi just going to be fine? Is the next chapter and chapters going to keep coming out and this is just going to be washed away? And what's going to happen with the ban on China? Is it temporary? Is it permanent? There's a lot that we don't know. So we just have to look out. And one thing, I know it's messed up, and I think you guys should go and actually look at and read up on what the name actually means. So go and do that, and then come up with your own opinion on what you think of it. Just don't go on Twitter and see everyone ranting and raving about the whole situation and just hop on the bandwagon of hate. Actually go read it, go read up on it, do a little bit of research, and then come up with your own opinion on what you think on the matter. That's what I always say do. I always say, don't just go based upon what other people are saying, actually look into it and then come up with a conclusion for yourself. Sorry that today's video was more of a sad video when it comes to this, because I've been doing a lot of research on this and looking up the definition and the incident that took place, and it is very, very sad. Like, it's really sad. If you look into it, let me know what you guys think, but if you're faint of heart, I wouldn't recommend looking into it. And now on to the Patreon shoutouts. I want to say thank you to the doc for being my highest Patreon supporter, and then thank you to Gyro. You guys are really amazing, and I love all of the support that all of you give, not only them, everyone who supports. And yeah, if you guys want to join my Discord, it's down in the links below, and my Patreon is also down there. And if you guys can just like the video and share it around, and in the comments let me know what you guys think about the whole situation that's going on. I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. So with all that being said, I want you guys to have a good day, and peace.